Good evening. Farmers in Shropshire and Herefordshire are warning restrictions on livestock going from England to Wales may be catastrophic for cross-border trade. From next month, cattle, sheep and goats must test negative for bluetongue disease before they can be moved into Wales. The Welsh Government says its policy is aimed at holding the virus back for as long as possible. Our rural affairs correspondent David Gregory-Kumar has been talking to farmers at the Oswestry livestock auction.
Cross-border trade is a massive part of the life of Oswestry Market. Depending on the time of year, 80% of animals sold will cross from England to Wales. But from the 1st of next month, many animals will need to be tested for bluetongue. Farmers on both sides of the Welsh border have been blindsided by the decision.
Although we're just literally in Wales, it will prevent us from coming to sell our stock here today, which is our local auction, about 3 miles away. So it means we're going to have to go further afield to sell our livestock this year. So yeah, it's just ridiculous.
The auctioneer here at Oswestry Livestock Market says the impact of this decision by the Welsh Government hasn't really started to sink in yet.
Today's a fairly average day for us. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there, a lot of farmers coming up and asking questions today about what they can and can't do. But yes, it is going to have a massive impact, especially as we go into the main breeding and store sheep and cattle selling season in the autumn.
A test for bluetongue can cost up to £70 per animal. It's a huge amount, especially for sheep, which sell for less than cattle. And each test only lasts 7 days before the animals need to be tested again. This all gets pretty complicated pretty quickly. So if you're a Welsh farmer and you bring your animals a few miles here to Oswestry to sell them, you won't need to get a test. But if they don't sell, you'll have to test them before you can take them home again. Now, the Welsh Government has sent us quite a lengthy statement, and in it they say all of this is going to be kept under review, but they're not going to offer financial help for their farmers to pay for these tests, and that's also the position of the government in Westminster. The MP for North Shropshire, whose constituency covers Oswestry Market, is concerned about this move by the Welsh Government.
There are hundreds of farms that have land on both sides of the border, so it's really problematic and inconvenient for them, and there's a lack of clarity of guidance over how they should manage that situation at the moment.
From livestock markets to county shows, this decision will have a huge impact on livestock farmers in the Midlands. David Gregory-Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, Oswestry.
So what is bluetongue and how much of a threat is it? Joining me now is Rob Newbury, Midlands Regional Director for the National Farmers Union. Good evening, Rob. So let's answer that then. First of all, what is bluetongue?
So it's a virus which affects livestock, cattle, sheep, but also some what we call camelids, so things like llamas and alpacas. It's a disease of livestock. It's not a disease of people, so it affects these animals. But it does have a negative impact on their health, obviously. So we do everything we can as farmers and the farming industry to stop them catching it, because it's a really nasty disease for them to have. How
does it affect the animals?
Well, they'll have lesions in their mouths. There are various physical symptoms which are not pleasant for the animals, but it also can cause abnormalities in birth. So young lambs and calves can be born with deformations, which mean they can't go on to they won't grow, so it causes harm to them.
You importantly said it's not a threat to people.
Exactly, yes. So it's not what we call a zoonotic disease. So it's not a disease which passes from animals to humans or vice versa. It is a disease of livestock, and it's also importantly not transmitted by what we call nose-to-nose contact. So it's not transmitted from one sheep to another sheep. It's transmitted by biting midges. So biting midges have taken it across the channel into our country. It was in the last country before the UK, was the Netherlands. Clouds of midges in kind of weather systems and in the wind came across and bit livestock here in the UK, and that's how it's actually come into the country. But it's only endemic. It's there in places like Africa, and it's partly in Australia and other sort of hotter countries like that, where these midges are circulating it in the environment. But in England and the UK, it's a notifiable disease because it's not a disease we expect to have in our livestock or in our wildlife.
So that being said, Rob, putting a border in place, will the midges respect that?
Well, arguably they won't. Now, the midges certainly won't stay one side of the Offers Dyke and stay in England versus Wales, and certainly for the livestock farmers, it seems a very impractical solution to the problem the industry faces. So as of the 1st of July, all of England goes into a control area, so all livestock are treated as being potentially within an area that might have bluetongue. But the Welsh Government have taken this decision to ask for livestock keepers to pre-movement test any animals which are not vaccinated, which are crossing the border. So it raises major impracticalities, as you've heard in the earlier segment.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you for your time.